Third Phase Moon, Blake Cousins. Welcome back, everybody, from around the world. Things are getting quite interesting in regards to the Uma asteroid. Or is it an asteroid? What the heck is going on right now? The Harvard from the Smithsonian is basically stating right now that they really don't have any idea what it is. It's basically circled around the sun. It's past our planet, and it came out of nowhere. It came out from the galaxy into our solar system in a regard that is one of the biggest secrets out there. We're looking at it right now. Its basic path into our solar system, and wow, welcome back, everybody from around the world. Give us a big thumbs up. The Oumuamua. What is this thing and what it's all about? These are the graphics that NASA has come up with and some of the basically information of its path. But in regards to the exact nature of it, some people are saying that they don't know the exact nature of this craft, of what it really looks like. The dust on it basically obscures its real form. In that case, we don't know what it is, but this is where it gets crazy, as what Harvard has been stating, and it's basically breaking the news right now, is that what they're saying is that this is some kind of mysterious cigar-shaped object, and it's a discovery that scientists have been at odds basically as of lately. But a new paper, researchers at the Harvard Center for Astrophysics raised the possibility. Now listen, that the elongated dark red object, which is about 10 times as long as it is wide and traveling at speeds of almost 200,000 miles an hour, might have an artificial origin. An artificial origin. This might be artificial. Some of the statements behind this are shocking. How's your voice? How are we coming in? Do you hear us? If you hear us loud and clear, give us a big thumbs up. We want to make sure we're broadcasting and you get to hear us live right here at Third Phase of Moon. We are running it, and basically the statements coming out of Harvard just within the past, I think, 12 hours is interesting. The Oumuamua might be an operational probe sent internally to Earth, a vicinity by an alien civilization, a paper wrote. Like this thing, like its name, is Hawaiian, and it means scout, like to scout out. And this thing has been on an adventure, let me tell you. It's basically doing exactly what NASA would be envy of, using planets and just the power of the solar system to maneuver its way around. That's what's amazing. And it does resemble some kind of craft. And now this is where it really gets weird. The dimension and the size, in order for it to do what it's doing, some of the Harvard scientists have basically did a mathematical equation and equates this thing to a very thin, I mean thin size, almost as thin as paper. So again, these graphics really don't make much sense. We know as we're looking at it, this could be the interpretation, but it does resemble some kind of cell, artificial cell, something that is not from our galaxy. I want to get your guys' thoughts. What do you think? Because as far as what Harvard is stating, that this thing is definitely, possibly, could be artificial. Light cells with similar dimensions have been designed and constructed by our own civilization, including a lot of things. But this light cell technology might be abundantly used in transport cargoes between planets. And this is basically something we've been thinking about for a while. But this asteroid, well, we don't want to even call it an asteroid now. It's something that could be much, much bigger. It could be an actual artificial spacecraft. It's interesting that some of the things that we've heard about, we can't confirm the exact time, but it seems that when this thing wrapped around the sun, that's when we had this shutdown of the observatories, a blackout media of exactly when this asteroid basically turned around. It defies reason unless this thing is a cell in itself, as Harvard is stating. The scientists admit that if this thing is doing what it's doing, it's got to be this thin, and it definitely must be in the form of a cell. This isn't fake news. This is real news. So give this a big thumbs up if you're joining us right now. We're going to be getting into the David Wilcock and the Corey Goode interview that we had right here at Third Phase of Moon. What an incredible interview that was, and we're going to share a quick clip of it. It's interesting. We wanted to get David Wilcock's first impression of Corey Goode when he first met him, how and when. Well, that's going to be quite exciting. But we wanted to give you the quick update. And breaking news, this thing, Harvard admits that this thing could be basically artificial in origin. That means it was built by something not from this planet, way out there in the galaxy, and it's doing some crazy things. So hold on, everybody. It's gonna be a wild ride. Now let's get into the David Wilcock and Corey Goode. Incredible interview. You gotta see it. Above Majestic, behind the scenes. Here it is, guys. All right, David, I know you and Corey have been friends for quite some time. I just want to get your thoughts. When Corey was explaining to you some of these stories that he explains his visitation to the Antarctic and the war of the reptilians and the avian blues, what was your first thoughts? Did you think this guy was nuts? And how did you guys first meet anyway?
Okay, that's a pretty complicated question, but let's begin with how did I first meet Corey Goode? Corey Goode began writing me emails, and I think I've traced it all the way back to about 2009. And at the time, he was only leaking to me certain pieces of weird information he'd picked up during his time working for the Texas State Guard. And there was some pretty cool stuff there. We talked from time to time. We had limited amount of dialogue, not a whole lot. We'd talk a few times a year by email. But he didn't ever really tell me what he knew, what he had remembered. That didn't happen until he decided to come forward on a much larger level, the first emails of which I saw in October 2014. And at that time, he emailed Bill Ryan and Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot. He interviewed, or tried to get an interview with Benjamin Fulford, and he wrote me. Now, I have to admit, when I first got these emails from Corey Goode, I didn't know what to think about this dude, and I kind of just held back. He's talking pretty strange. He's got a lot of weird jargon that I haven't heard before. Let me just watch for a while, see what this guy's up to, see where this is going. I'm not going to make any sudden moves. So he did first interview with Project Camelot. Benjamin Fulford didn't really take the invitation. And I started to see him writing various things in discussion forums, him making various posts. And it was after reading this in more depth that I started to see, oh my gosh, how does he know about that? How does he know about that? How does he know about this? Where did he get that from? Nobody's ever said this publicly before. Where did that come from? How did he get this? And that's when I got excited. I wrote him and I said, dude, we need to talk. And it actually took about a week before he started to talk to me. But very quickly, this is now about the end of October 2014, beginning of November 2014. We began talking for about 2 hours at a time, almost every day. And I had my little recorder running the whole time, so we do have all that audio from all those conversations. There was a certain amount of personal material, but basically I was just interrogating the heck out of this guy. And along the way, I kept bringing up things that I had heard from other insiders, and it was absolutely amazing how much correlation there was with all the different people I met from Disclosure Project, with multiple other insiders, many of whom, for whatever reason, as I said, have only been willing to speak with me. Here's a guy who seems to know little bits of what everybody else has said. He's got this overarching degree of knowledge. It was stunning how many dots were connecting, names of programs, secret code words, very specific pieces of information, very quirky things in which I would start a sentence, he would finish it, and we both are talking about something that we both had heard about, or in my case I heard about it, in his case he had experienced it. Now, you mentioned in your question this idea of a war between the Blue Avians and the Draco Reptilians, and I wouldn't really call it that, because the Blue Avians operate at a level where they don't directly interact with these reptilian beings. They would be more like overseers, giving advice, giving guidance, helping people out. They work at a level where the Draco would never even be able to see them or access them. The war is really more of a war that's taking place between beings that we would consider to be living inside the earth. They are what we would think of as angelic, and when they did end up meeting with Corey starting in March of 2015, it started with the Blue Avians, and it wasn't until later that he actually met with these inner earth beings that called themselves the Anshar. Now, I have had dreams and visionary experiences with beings just like this my whole life. I had written about it long before Corey came along. Many other people have had similar types of experiences. I don't believe this is fake. These people do seem to exist. They are very human-like. Many of them could pass for people on Earth. You wouldn't notice any difference. And yet, they are very different. They are not the same at all. They have amazing capabilities, amazing technology, and amazing spiritual development. These people are telepathic. They read minds. They have the ability to levitate themselves. Corey actually did go to their cities at one point and saw some of these people levitating. They have very advanced technology, and they represent the next level of human evolution, which apparently we're going to go through as well. We're going to become like these beings, where we can move things with our mind, where we can hear each other's thoughts, where we have access to the different lifetimes that we've led throughout time and space. We can see beyond one incarnation. We have the ability to look beyond the veil of living and dying, to understand this life and the afterlife, see how the two work together, and be able to help facilitate people as they transition from one realm to the other in what we would typically call physical death. It's not really death. You do live forever. Your soul will always exist. And in that sense, nothing's really dangerous, and you will always go on with your identity, with your consciousness. You're never going to be lost. You're never going to fade into some blackness. We don't need to be afraid of death. So what's happening is that these inner earth beings, the Anshar, the fourth dimensional angelic types, are fighting against these demonic, negative, evil reptilians. They are nasty. They are more evil than we could ever even imagine. And this battle's been going on for hundreds of thousands of years. It didn't start on Earth. It got brought to us. It's been imported, let's say. And so, as I said earlier in the interview, this is a proxy war. It doesn't just happen here between these beings. It happens between us. The beings are fighting each other based on the choices that we make. The more that we act in a loving, positive, compassionate way, the more that those inner earth beings can fight on our behalf and can win. They have the ability to totally defeat the reptilians. The war only is being fought because of us. And we need to fight for disclosure. Bringing the truth out to the public, getting this information out, will be what defeats this archetypal devil that lives in hell, below the surface of the ground, in these underground bases, some of which, if you went there, are very nasty, and in fact, the reptilians like things hotter than we do. So these, in some cases, are very hot cities with a high temperature. And I know some people are laughing, and that's okay. If you need to laugh in order to hear the truth, that's okay. But what is going to happen is there will be a point at which you're not going to be laughing, in which this is all going to become very serious, disclosed on an official level, no longer subject to this type of laughter. And this war has been going on for a long time. We are involved in the center of it. We are caught in the middle of it. The choices that each of us make on our own free will basis determine the outcome of the collective. Corey Goode is not a god. Corey Goode is not a savior. I've never looked at him that way. I've seen plenty of flaws in him that probably most people never would, and he has seen plenty of flaws in me. I'm a real guy too. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I make dumb mistakes. I use rude language sometimes. I've done it on stage plenty of times. I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I'm just a researcher who's had some very interesting pieces of the puzzle put in front of me, and I've taken those pieces and I've run with them, and I've done the homework, and I've done whatever it is, 625 episodes of television now, a lot of stuff. So the other part of the question is regarding Corey Goode's visit to the Antarctic.
Check out Above Majestic and our incredible interview with David Wilcock and Corey Goode in regards to the basically secret space program. Is it real? Let me tell you, when we interviewed these guys, as you can see in the interview, it's quite amazing on the information that we did get out of them. We asked them the big questions. That was just one of them. And when you see the interview, you're going to find out about all kinds of really amazing stuff. In regards to some of their basically, okay, are we turning it up? We're turning it up. People said, I got to turn up the audio. Well, let's try and turn it up here. And we are live. And I think we're almost up to 600 people watching right now. Incredible. Thanks for everybody from around the world joining us right now at Third Phase Moon. I want to get your thoughts. If you watched the video that the internet doesn't want you to see, the Corey Goode and David interview that we posted on Third Phase of Moon a couple days ago, I want to get your thoughts in regards to that interview. Should we be doing these kind of investigative journalistic interviews with all the top ufologists around the world? Because we're asking the big questions and we're sharing the incredible information in a real-time basis. That's what we're doing right here at Third Phase of Moon. It's kind of evolved into something bigger in the past year and a half. I don't know. It's just kind of exploded in a way that people need the information. It's coming in as fast as possible, and we're just kind of going through it every single day as it comes in. So we want to thank all our subscribers around the world. We're almost getting up to 700,000. Our past 200,000 subscribers skyrocketed in the past few months. It's pretty crazy. But the information coming out right now is this other breaking news in regards to this mysterious object that is doing some kind of maneuvers, that Harvard has basically stated that this is possibly something that's artificial in nature, something that was built not from our, basically from out there. Could this be an actual spacecraft shaped like a cell? Well, Harvard states that this thing is paper thin. Some of the graphics that we've been sharing, or that basically NASA's been sharing over all these years, could be inaccurate due to the mathematic study by Harvard. So this is the big question. What is going on with that? Why has it turned around and doing all this stuff that even Harvard now admits today that they don't know what it is unless it's artificially made? Otherwise, it'd be impossible. I'm going to give some shout outs to some of the people that have been joining us right here. We got Matthew Stewart. Hey, Matthew, thanks for joining us. David Lopez is with us. We got Justin Miller. It maybe is the artificial sun. Clue in. Okay, maybe. I'm not sure about that one. Kenny Smith is with us. He says this could be part of the war. Well, that's interesting because people are stating that it's very similar, strange indeed that when Trump announced the Space Force, this thing was getting very close to us. They might have known something that we didn't, that they were privy to information that this thing was doing things that aren't explained, could not be explained. Let's see, we got Josh Althouse. He says blue beam. Well, it's a possibility. I'm not sure. I think it's more alien, in my opinion. Nick Winter says he loves listening to Third Phase of Moon, especially having to trim all my beep beep from the past outdoor season. All right, Nick, good on you on that one, man. Let's see. The best. Looks like a flying. Yeah, it does in its own sense, but this thing's not flying like a turd. This thing has some characteristics that really make a lot of stuff. This is just a NASA artificial 3D render of what they want us to see. But what this thing is doing, if you look at this graphic, doesn't it's doing things that Harvard can't explain. Tev says definitely an Anunnaki ship. It's just kind of things are getting really weird nowadays. In my opinion, things are about to blow up in regards to the information. Things are getting to a peak where everybody wants to know. These UFO documentaries are going so big, the internet is blowing up on them. Netflix is going crazy on some of these UFO documentaries because people want to wake up. They want to know the real truth. Author OK, howdy from Alberta. Appreciate it joining us right here at Third Phase of Moon. When was this discovered? Kelly asked. Well, the new information in regards to the Oumuamua asteroid, which some people are claiming is a spaceship, the Harvard study just came out within the past 24 hours in regards to its mathematical equation on how big this thing is. And it's basically the size, as you can see in this graphic, very thin in nature. Something very that would be unnatural. They say it's basically it could be artificially made. That's the breaking news. It just when Harvard states that, that's when you know there's something to this. Bipolar believer, first time ever in here. Hello from Kansas. Well, appreciate it for joining us right here at Third Phase Moon. Welcome to the channel. We have a lot of subscribers. I think we're what 280 650,000 subscribers. But how many views do we have on this channel? It's incredible. More than a quarter of a billion views. It's insane. It's there's so many people that watch this. Antonio Dennis says Koki. Yeah, we got a lot of Koki in our backyard. We're actually broadcasting live, and the sun has set, and that's when the frogs come out. And good call on that. Well, again, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, if you missed the Corey Goode, David Wilcock interview, the video the internet doesn't wait to see, well, by all means, check it out. We just uploaded it on Third Phase Moon. You guys stay cool out there. Be safe. We'll see you guys next time.